um, I was talking about a couple of different things, but I was just like, I woke up at 10, which is okay. I went to bed at like 2:30, but then like I fucking sit on the couch, eyes get heavy, and then it's 12:30, and I'm not feeling so great about myself. But whatever, I'd have to just go to bed earlier if I don't want to be doing that, and it's hard with Paul having a job. He comes home at midnight. Anyway, um, so okay, I just want to say, yesterday it was like on the website, so cheery, and it's like you get, children are welcome. You get a free lesson. We provide all the supplies, and just really upfront about all that. Like, and the reality was a little different. The fishermen, it was like there were like two captains that you saw for like 5 seconds, like driving the boat, and then there was this hot like Colin Farrell guy, 35, 40 years old, who was running things down in the boat. And then there were like one or two like bro dudes that were kind of under his command. And then there were a couple of high school kids that worked there that, we found out later, like, oh, please tip them. They work hard. So they're probably not getting paid or whatever. I don't know. So Colin Farrell was, he was friendly. I mean, he was fine. He wasn't very personal, big on eye contact, and very brisk. But he was, there was nothing unfriendly about him. He seemed really busy. And then the two, like he was running all over the boat the whole time, like doing stuff. And then, and checking people in, and then just whatever. Then, he was hot. Then, the two bro dudes were like very uncommunicative. They would ask you a question, answer a question if you were like, how do I, actually, if they saw you struggling with something, like with a fishing pole, they would come over and like quickly tell you how to do it and then like zoom off. I mean, they weren't bad. They weren't assholes, but they weren't, they didn't connect. Nobody connected. There was no lesson. Like at the beginning, like they quickly go to each person and plop down a thing of clams, for bait, and make sure that everybody has their pole, and like get you set up quickly, efficiently, and then they're all over the boat, like just doing stuff. And we sailed over toward Connecticut. That was fun. Poppy was not seasick, but she was afraid she was going to get seasick, and we were on fast. She was a little nervous. I mean, we're sitting. That's the thing. Like the deck is like a narrow bench, and then narrow space, and then where you stand and fish. So it's like you really feel like you're very close to the water. But it was so balmy out. Like there were no like waves crashing, or but it was speedy. It was fun. I loved it. Um, anyway, she was nervous, and then whatever. Okay, so we get to what I didn't realize was we get to a fishing area, and we're like everyone starts fishing, and then like only like 10 minutes later, the captain is like, "All right, we're drifting back toward Port Jeff. Like we can't stay here. It's like the current or whatever. So we're gonna pick up and go to another spot." So we did, and like that happened a few times for whatever reason. Currents. So there'd be like a fishing period, not very long, 10, 20 minutes, and then you'd zoom off, and you'd kind of have to like reset up your pole every time. I got bored with that. I did it 3 times, and I think they were like I fished 3 times, and there were like 5 or 6 destinations. So sometimes I'd go in the lunchroom and play with my phone, or just sit and zone out on the deck. So, and then Poppy eventually became friends with this girl that family had a little girl next to us, and that was very sweet. So, overall, it was a fun experience. Oh, okay, no. So, toward the end, I was chilling out in the lunchroom, and I see, like, in this other part of the boat that we hadn't been on, one of the bro dudes, like, skinning the fish of somebody. Paul caught, like, I don't know, 6. That one that I first showed you a picture of, that was his first, and he just kept catching them. Of course, Poppy and I didn't. So I see, because on the website they're like, we will scale, debone, fillet, whatever. So I'm in the, it's this 1 hour left of the trip, and I'm like, see this bro dude, like, there's like a cluster of people waiting to get their fish deboned and everything. So I go back to Paul and I'm like, you know, what's happening over there? Like, you should maybe go check and see, like, what the deal is, the weight, and you need to turn, and you should go look, see what's going on over there. So he does. And he has his turn, and it's like the teenager and the bro dude are working together. And the teenager is like, do you want the heads cut off too? And Paul's like, oh, do you want the heads cut off too? Paul's like, oh, yeah. So after the trip, everyone's happy. We got Italianas. We go to a store and we buy vegetables and stuff to cook. Got some cherry tomatoes, zucchinis, onions and garlic to bake the fish. They're called porgies. They appear to be, just, from my research, as a nice white fish. And like, Paul's so psyched. He's like excited to cook the fish that he caught that day. And he takes them out of the fridge. They're all wrapped up. And he pulls one out and he's like, what the fuck? I'm like, what? He's like, it just has a head cut off. It's scales, it's everything. It's a totally whole fish. And it's like hard. And I was like, shit. And he's like, I don't know what to do with this. I was like, neither do I. And we don't have really sharp knives. Like, this would take like killer knives. And so I'm like, let's watch a video on how to do it. So we watched this funny like video how to scale a fucking porgy or something, and it's like this Jersey guy. He's like, all right, this is what you do. Yeah, you don't want to, you know, people waste all day picking the bones out, but all you do is cut it this way, you get all the meat, none of the bones. And it looked doable. The method looked doable, but I'm thinking, and I say out loud, I'm like, that knife looks like a $200 knife, freshly sharpened. He's sliding through this fish. So I kept saying, like, we're not gonna be able to do this with our knives. Like, we're just gonna be like jabbing at it. And so, because the method was simple, Paul felt good, and he starts doing it. He's just like, ugh. And then he starts just kind of trying to like hack at it, and then he like dies. And he's like, this is all about the knife. I was like, yeah, did you hear me say that 20 times? And he's like, no. That's annoying. I mean, he was in his zone. He was stressing out and trying to do it and feeling bad. But I bet you would have heard me. So, and I would have had to say it 20 times. I'm like Poppy. I'll just say it and say it and say it until you hear me. But you never hear me, Paul. Okay, so I was like, you should call and complain tomorrow. And he's like, I'm going to go to the boat and hand them the bag and be like, could you finish this job? And I don't know if he's still going to do that. I mean, it's late. Oh, they have like an evening. They have the 2 to 6. And they had one that was starting like immediately after we got off the boat. So I don't see him getting there by 2 today, because it's like after 1 he's sleeping. So I don't know. But okay, so that was sad. And then like it was like moments later he had a migraine. Like, poor Paul, I feel bad. I mean, he was really jubilant about We caught lots of fish. We're gonna cook this fish tonight, and I was excited. I also was excited for him and to eat this food and cook it. Bummer. Was there something else? Something. I can't wait to tell the Norman Bates story. It's so funny. I wish you'd had a chance to tell him. Okay, I'll stick with business now. I went to get an eye exam the other day, last week, and I'm 100% needing, I guess, bifocals. I mean, I can't read without having something up close like this. My eyes are deteriorating. And Dave Brotherton was talking about like this, I want to call it a transition lens, but it's not like the sunglasses one, but like, you know, up here is like straight up, like looking outward. And then there's like these demarcations, and then the bottom's where like you would read the newspaper, like just like supposedly subtle layers of where, and you're just supposed to get used to where to put your eyes to see different distances. And he said it was supposed to be like an improvement of bifocals where you're just like up or down, and he says he hates it, it's confusing, and he never adjusts to it. And then there's bifocals, which is like, I guess, your eyes adjust like looking up for distance and down for up close. And Carol Ann said that she couldn't stand that because she never could adjust to it. So she just, I'm pretty sure she just has 2 pairs of glasses and like a chain, which is like kind of like what I want to do, confusing. And but you got the chain and wear the reading glasses with the chain. I don't know. I think it's kind of cute, but you have to wear 2 glasses all the time. And okay, so I get this exam, and the guy was nice, but he talked really fast, like the ultimate New Yorker. Like so what you're gonna do is you're gonna need this and all, but you know, like I was like what, and I don't know. I wasn't feeling well. I was in my heroin detoxification phase, so I was just like, okay, anyway, okay, so it turns out like this is where my eyes are at, which I knew already. And he's like, so I can prescribe you bifocals. And I was like, is there an alternative? I don't want bifocals. I heard they're really hard to adjust to. My sister didn't adjust to them. He's like, yeah, some people like adjust, some people don't, but it's all your insurance is going to cover. So I was like, can I just get 2 pairs of glasses? He's like, yeah, but 1 pair you'll be paying out of pocket. And then I was like, well, what would that be? By the way, he's saying this really fast. How much is that going to be? And he's like, well, the lenses would be like $70, and then the frames would be whatever frames you want. Could be any price, you know. There's a wide range in frame prices, but it would, you know, okay, the cheaper glasses would be what's covered by your insurance. So then I was scared to ask for my prescription, because the last time I went to this place in Rocky Point, they were like mega cunts about it because I wasn't buying their glasses. So I was like, you know what? I have a friend who's a optician. I'd really like to get my frames from him. Is it okay if I get I know I have the right to my prescription, but I wanted to put it out there first, like very first thing. Oh shit, I'm running out of time. Anyway, okay. Yes, I can have my prescription. He didn't give me attitude about it. They were nice. But now I want to like deal with your place. I know I could just look at the website, but like bifocals, I don't know. I just want, you've already told me your process with this place, but how was it cost? What was it cost? Like, you seem to be getting glasses all the time. What does that cost you? So I would need like a regular old, like, I'm thinking of doing 2 glasses method. So like reading glasses and regular sight glasses, long distance. And the nose. You just give them the prescription, right? You don't do the measurement. How to do the measurement, I've asked you this before, but now it's real. I'm gonna really do it. Okay, gotta go, bye.